fill this room. All right, all right. Let me say this right quick. Now that everybody is here, really appreciate each and every last one of you all. My thing is, here's the thing. I said before the season started, and especially off season, that trust me, there's going to be some veteran guys that's going to be released, and all of the lies will be over with, right? But we got a chance to see some growth factor with all safeties. So we really don't have to look into the veteran pool. But the reason why this day is so important, because you're going to see some teams get rid of some veteran guys that's going to be able to benefit your team. Now, here's the thing. This is how you got to finesse this thing. You cannot sign a veteran guy now before week one, because his contract is going to be guaranteed for the entire year. So what you want to do is wait till after week one and these sorts of things if you have your reservations on a veteran guy. But if you feel like you're one player away, then go out there and snatch that guy. You look, the Seattle Seahawks are trying to get Jadavion, that's how you say his name, Clowney. They're trying to get him, and I think that they have a strong chance and a strong opportunity to secure that particular pick. Particular trade, because they're trying to go all in. You know, they got rid of Frank Clark. They went and got multiple draft picks. But if they fool around and get Jadavion Clowney, that'll be a wise move for them, because now you shore up something on your defensive side of the ball. And also, as far as running backs, I think the Bills just released LaShawn McCoy. Now, if anybody been following LaShawn McCoy, I can say that he is a nice running back and probably be one of the better running backs if he had an offensive line that he can run behind. So those are things that we really have to understand. So wherever we have loose ends on the team, there are some veteran help that will be out there today. And it is all about being able to figure out how can you improve your team. Because you looking at this team, I'm so sick and tired of Ezekiel Elliott talk, man. It get crazy. It get crazy because on a segment of population of people, that's all they say. You can't win without Ezekiel. But my thing is, how many Super Bowls have Ezekiel Elliott won? You know, and my thing is too, you know, when was the last time we won a Super Bowl? So I don't like to go back and forth with contract talk, contract negotiation. Oh, man, appreciate you, Junebug, man. Thank you for the donation to help grow the nation. Yes. Yes, indeed. And Dak, I back. Yeah. And Dak, I back. Yeah, so man, that is fantastic, man. My thing is, this is what we got to stop doing as Cowboys fans. It's not Dak versus Ezekiel. It's not Ezekiel versus Amari Cooper. It's not Amari Cooper versus Dak. What it is that it's the Dallas Cowboys. You can say versus Roger Goodell if you want to. Shout out time, man. Shout out to you, Joe, man. Thank you for tuning in all the way from Italy. Let me know what time it is right now, Joe, in Italy. Vern, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Shady McCoy headed to the Texans. This is from Jamal Anderson. Ooh. Shady McCoy. See, they got their running back, So, hey, to me personally, that would be a good move, a good insight for them. I think that he will help out the Texans. If that news is true, that will be nice for them. As well as any other guy that goes out there to the Texans. I think that they are a nice team. They got a nice young quarterback. They have a wonderful wide receiver core. And on top of that, what one can argue and say to themselves is say, hey, if you're a Texans fan, you would like to have some offensive linemen. So that would be probably a trade partner down the line. If we have too many offensive linemen, why not ship them off to Texans, because they need some help with that. Vern, what's good, man? Dallas come first. Yes. You know what? When Jerry Jones had to get rid of my guy Terrell Owens, you know what Jerry Jones said? He drew a dot, and he said, that represents you. He drew another dot right beside that dot, and he said, that represents me. I'm just a little bit bigger than you. He kind of laughed a little bit. But then he drew a big old circle. And he said, this represents the star, and none of us will ever be bigger than the star. And pretty much saying that regardless of how we love players, because this is the motto of the NFL now, it made us pick on certain players versus team. No one would be bigger than the brand itself, the Dallas Cowboys, you see. So shout out to you, Tony, man. What's good with you, man? Thank you for tuning in to the nation, man. Really do, man. Check out Tony's forum page as well, man. I'm telling you, it's nice. 5 p.m. That's what I'm talking about, in the evening. Domino, what's good, man? Appreciate you for tuning in. Holdouts is over. The best back in the league will be their highest paid. Hashtag DC for life. My thing is, what I'm looking at with this team is that this team, in a couple of days, 8 more days before we have kickoff or what have you, this team, let me know, can we win with Dak Prescott? Can we win with the wide receivers that we have out there? And can we win with this defensive front four, defensive linebackers and those DBs out there against Eli Manning? I can tell you that we can win. Now, my thing is this right here. We've been talking so much about Ezekiel Elliott this and Ezekiel Elliott that and this sorts of things. A dude didn't even play in practice. He didn't play in training camp. We've been so much on Ezekiel Elliott, but we fail to realize that this defense is going to be nasty. And regardless of how you look at it, I just cannot see Eli just marching up this field, lighting it up like a Roman candle. But what I can see is Eli running for his life. Hey, they got people out here saying that Saquon Barkley is going to get 200 yards rushing. On this defense? Come on now. This is crazy because people fail to realize this defense going into the second year with Christopher Richard. This defense is going to be a whole lot better. It's going to be a whole lot better no matter how you look at it. How much is the package? Call that number 817-888-1726. We'll make sure we get you in the right seat. Not just for you, but for your entire family. Hit us up, though, DCFN 1973. Donovan, what's good, man? Appreciate you. Law, do you think the three-headed monsters are in our running back core? No, what I'm thinking this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking, Cowboy Nation. The philosophy is still the same. Clock control. All we need to do is still methodically move the ball down the field and control the clock. Control the LOS on the defensive side of the ball, and we have no issues, no worries. We got Kuna Matata groove going on right now. You see what I'm saying? Because the philosophy will still be the same. Chip away, bend but don't break. This is first time ever, guys, that you got a young phenom in a Chris Richard, and then you have the old classic Papa Rob Marinelli coaching up those front fours. You got a guy like a Daniel Wise getting 2 sacks out there during the preseason. I know it's preseason, but his technique and his separation, his get off from the ball is just nasty. Then you got a guy like Tristan Hill who's able to now shoot the gaps. I know that he's now show all of the power that you would like to see. Yeah, Tamari says defense is balling. Yes, what we do, we stay balling out there. Execution is the question. Is the question? This is Elite Rob. I think this team can execute. I think that this team got that flavor, got that energy to do that. But the reason why this day is so important still, any loose ends that we have and any team that overdrafted for their particular players or they believe in their particular young youth, then they cut a veteran or they cut a guy that just couldn't fit their scheme, or if they brought in a new coaching philosophy and they said that this person does not fit my particular groove, then we can still look at our roster and say, okay, let's bring this guy in or let's bring this person in for this particular personnel. You see, that's how we got to look at it. Jerry Jones is a marketing genius. Cowboys versus Giants will be the most viewed game next week because of the narrative. Can the Cowboys win without Zeke? That's Jamal. Man. Oh, my goodness. Hey, this is what I do. Give me a thumbs up if you guys would like for me to open up the phone lines. So if you guys would like to give me some feedback or give me your thoughts on this game, let me know, and I can do that as well. Let me make sure I can put the phone number down into the box over here. Let me see. Text, and we're going to create this button here. We're going to do a new one instead. We're going to do phone number groove. If we'll do a phone number groove. Let me see where should I put that phone number at. We're going to do 682-214-4087. And I think it's going to be right up here at the top. I think you guys can see it right above there. And let me move this right here. And I really appreciate you all. There we go, 682. So it got thumbs up. People want to give me their thoughts and their. Give me a few seconds. Let me open it up. And the phone lines are open. I'm open to your thoughts. I'm open to your concerns of this team, and I'm open to whatever you have on mind. We can talk about anything. We can talk about why the sky is really blue. Is it a reflection of the ocean, or the sky is blue because that's the atmosphere? You know, we can talk about that too. If the earth is round or flat, things like that. Just thinking this is just a cover up involving Zeke and Jerry conversation, covering something up. With that being said, Zeke will be back when everything is clear. All seems ridiculous with holding out. Yeah, that's my only thing. I got my guy computer to call me earlier. We got the 469 in the house, man. Come talk to us.
What's going on, Lo? This Cowboy Nation, brother.
Hey, Cowboy Nation, man. Talk to me, fam. How you living?
I mean, I've been waiting since let's say 2007 and 8 when I got tattoo on my neck that has the 5 bolts, and I haven't added on, man. I need to add to it. I don't know if you can see on the picture on my little screen thing on the YouTube thing, but yeah, man, I've been waiting. Diehard fan, you know what I'm saying? Just analyzing everything. I do like the new Kyler Moore, offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I know I see some things that can be potential. Maybe a little LA Ram kind of sort of scheme. But I'm more worried about when it comes down to, the whole game of balance with the running that we used to are accustomed to. You know what I mean? Like, even my mom that don't like football knows that we were handing it to number 21.
Yeah, a lot of people know that because the Dallas Cowboys on every media and every airwaves. The Dallas Cowboys. My mom hit me up too. She's like, "Hey, what is going on with Ezekiel Elliott?" I said, "Mom, what you doing watching this stuff?" She said, "I couldn't help but to hear it while I was at work. They talking about this guy, this and that." She said, "Who is Ezekiel Elliott?" I said, "He's the running back for the Cowboys."
Hey, yeah,
but it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see. But
Go
see,
ahead.
the same situation was going with Jadeveon Clowney. You know, nobody talked about him holding out. Nobody talked about the fact that he would not sign the franchise tag, but he don't play for the silver and blue. You know what I mean?
He's not America's team.
Yeah,
Even for the you go for the Chargers. They're Gordon, their running back. He hasn't signed anything yet. So you know what I mean?
man. Thanks for shedding light on that, man. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people look.
Hey,
You just reminded me. I forgot that. Look, Gordon has not even
it's
been
fantasy. Hey,
mentioning.
it's fantasy football, brother. I got my draft at 7:30, so you know what I mean. You gotta be up to date with everything.
Yes, indeed, man. So, what else? What other concerns you have outside of
But,
Ezekiel Elliott?
well, besides that is the man that claps every play after that goes on the field, Mr. Jason Garrett himself. Like, are you gonna be able to pull off something to keep your job? And not only that, give us fans hope for this bowl that we've been waiting for. 54. Come on, like we
Yeah.
have the youth and elite defense that is underrated going in 2019. I believe because they haven't seen that front line now with Quinn added in there, and then now the secondary too with Wilson. You got a little bit of help with Eve now. You don't have to worry about too much because that's the safety position that was worried all the time. They kept on hitting us right in the middle. Those plays
Yeah.
every time last season. So that's my concern. Is Gary going to be able to hold it through and give us that, extra thing we need, to get us there, get us to the big game?
Yes, indeed. This is my only thing with that, and I have to say this casually. Jason Garrett, he got a built-in excuse, of course, every year. But my thing is, all of the excuses have met to the end mark now, so he can't really give us any excuses for this year. I can say that, but I can give you one positive thing, and I hate to say it. It's about continuity, and hopefully, by him and his long tenure with this team, we can still get to the playoff. And that's just my only thing. If we can get to the playoff, I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. When we get to the playoff, maybe this team can win in spite of. Kind of like the Barry Switzer type of situation, whereas they won in spite of him.
No, I just want that extra nod, extra little, 7 gear that you have left in your tank when it comes up to, playoffs. Because I mean, look at what happened with the Rams. We came back with that run play and then got them with Cooper 7. And then what happened? Shut down.
True.
So it tells you, like, and they were not always, they made it seem like they were a powerful team with the running back game and all that. But no, it was just a part of the scheme. Now we have a fresh mind with Colin Moore, so it's just, let me see you, Garrett. Allow him and Dak do their thing. Like, I feel like some of those plays, I know, Scott Linehan had a lot to do with, but, Garrett's the one that calls it afterwards.
True. I agree. In any other perfect football world, the head coach would say, you know what? I think it was one of the Harbaugh brothers who said, you know what, forget it. I'm going to call the plays. I'm going to put everything.
I think so, yeah. I think that was one of the Harbaughs, yeah.
Yeah, one of I don't know which one it was, but he said, forget it. I'm going to call the plays. I'm going to go down with the ship. If the ship is going down, it's going to be on my watch.
Yeah, love. I mean, that was just, that's just my thing. I mean, because it's been too long, and there's no excuses of the team around. When Romo was there, no offensive line, no running back. And then we started building the offensive line. We started creating weapons outside of the, on the line. So then now we have that back that gave, extra little hope. But then now it's the question mark there. But Dak has enough pieces, I feel like, outside that can help create those separations and create that double team that gives them, the time to throw or execute a play and make the first down. We don't have to go deep. It's still 10-15 every time. First down. That's it.
Yes, indeed, man. So, hey, before you run, man, can you tell people where to find you and follow you at and these sorts of things?
Oh, okay, man. Just Cowboy Nation. I don't have no media other than that because the wifey, she didn't want no Facebook, no Instagram. So any young cats out there, think about when you, are with a woman because she is the rock and stone of us. But at the same time, don't give her too much love and don't give her too much
yes,
balance.
indeed.
But no, yeah, Cowboy Nation, that's where you can follow me. I don't put videos, but I think I'm going to, whenever I start going to the stadium, I'm actually going to try to do the proposal there, brother. So by the Rams game,
Okay.
December 15th. Yeah, I kind of have a waiting for when it comes to get the field passes and do the proposal there. That's actually how me and my fiance, kind
Mm-hmm.
of got it started. Let me say just real quick before I get out. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she's obviously the opposite of me. No tattoos. School girl got her bachelor's. Me, street cat, whatever. She just saw my tattoo of my neck of the Cowboys. She's a diehard fan. Can I take a picture? And from that picture, 7 years we're here. So
Man,
yeah,
started off from a picture. So she
from
took
the
a picture.
Cowboys, yeah.
For those who don't understand, who can barely hear you. So she took a picture of your neck with the Cowboys trophies and everything, rings on it, right?
Yes, sir. And the Cowboy helmet, yep.
And y'all been in a relationship ever since then.
For
Man, that's
7 years, we
fantastic.
got our home. We have 2 kids, and I mean that's the only thing that she's waiting for is that ring. So this year, first thing we met upstairs, I
Yeah.
can be able to go to the field
Hmm.
at Jerry's World and propose there. I mean that's the, that
Yeah.
could get everything together. I guess that little cherry on top, but it's a blessing, brother, for your channel. I really appreciate all the info you give us as fans, and we can't ask for more, but try to give you support.
Yes, indeed, man. I really appreciate it, man. Well, you have a good one, man, and I thank you for tuning in to the nation one way or another, baby. Let's go. Let's go get this other
Hey,
ring.
Cowboys Nation right here, Super Bowl 54, baby. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Salute.
Amen.
All right, so that's my guy, man, Cowboy Nation, man. Y'all hit him up, man, and he will be in the chat box here. So I think I got this over here. Appreciate you, Chaz Jewels, man, for the donation to help grow the nation. He says, get rid of Tyron Crawford, free up some money for Ezekiel Elliott. Ah, my goodness. My thing is, the reason why I do not agree with just getting rid of Tyron Crawford, he was our interior sack leader from last year. And when we start getting rid of players and these sorts of things, because it just diminished the team collectively. What we need to happen here is that Ezekiel Elliott got to understand either you want a Super Bowl or you want the paper. Now, I can understand when Ezekiel Elliott says, hey, I'm worth or I earn my money. But at the same token, you can understand where Jerry Jones is coming from. Jerry Jones said this right here. Hey, what would change if I pay Ezekiel Elliott now, then next year he'll ask for more money? Or the following year or in 3 months from now, he'll ask for more money. Where do we meet? Where do we come up with this player holding out before their contract is over with? Now, that's just how it goes, Cowboy Nation. And then even when an NFL player is cut, don't the team is still honorable to pay that person that money? They just can't free up the money. They still got to pay the money before they get cut. So those are things that we have to really digest as it relates to paying a player too soon or buying into what a player is demanding. And then it's also like a trickle-down effect. You know what I mean? What if LVE said, you know what, you guys paid Ezekiel Elliott 2 years before his contract is up. And 2 more years from now, LVE saying, hey, I think I deserve a little bit more money. I want what's the kid that played for the Seattle Seahawks money? Bobby Wagner. I want Bobby Wagner money. 2 years before his contract is up. So do you start doing that for him as well? You see, it's a trickle down effect. One can call it a conundrum, but it is what it is at this point. Vern, what's good, man? Clowney is overrated. Yeah. Because if you think about it, well, Jadeveon Clowney did have a guy number 99 on the opposite side of him. Yeah, you can say that. Seahawks got Clowney for a 3rd round pick and 2 players. Oh, wow. So what happened here is, let me see if I can pull up that information for the nation, man. Let me see if I can pull up. Yeah, it's crazy. It's fresh. And let's see what the detailings of the contract. Really appreciate you all. Hey, I don't see it confirmed yet, but Ian Rappaport explained why the McCoy was released. Let's see what they're talking about with this. Let's see what they're talking about. Almost there.
For more, let's bring in NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport on this story. Ian, earlier this summer, the GM Brandon Beane said that McCoy was a part of their plans. Now he's not. What happened?
Yeah, General Manager Brandon Beane has been outspoken every opportunity he's got about telling everyone that LaShawn McCoy was going to be on their team, was in their plans, basically preempted every question by saying so. Then they get to training camp. Obviously, what they saw, the body of work that he put forward in training camp was not something they believe would help their team. So he made the decision to release LaShawn McCoy, their former franchise running back and one of the faces of their franchise. Now, of course, he was expensive, due about $6 million for a 31-year-old running back who averaged just over 3 yards per carry last year. That is a lot. But, of course, this is a surprise just considering.
Yeah, he's 31 years old. I didn't know McCoy is that old. So let me see if I can find any news of the Jadeveon Clowney, because that's another thing, too. You know, I think the Seahawks we've been playing the Seahawks for years and years and years. And the last thing that I want to see is the Seahawks in this playoff again, and we have to beat them out. And they got a Jadeveon Clowney on the opposite end. And then they pretty much, I don't know if, let me see if I can pull up Jadeveon. Let me see, Spoke Track. And we're going to type in Clowney's contract. And we'll see how that all works out, you know. All right, so he's 26 years old, right? He signed a 1 year, $15 million, 16, well, that's with the, so they haven't put it on Spoke Track yet, and normally they be right on the money. No, they said he signed a $1 million deal, one year deal for 16 million, basically. Wonder why it's only 1 year. That's bizarre. But if he signed a franchise tag with the Houston first, so what would happen if he signed a franchise tag with the Houston, then they would have to then in turn the Seattle Seahawks would then in turn would have to buy out the I guess the franchise tag and then give them whatever players that they looking for. Like I think it's like, for the franchise tag, it'd probably be 2 first-round draft picks, or first and the second, or third and the fourth, or something like that. So we'll see, though. Clowney had one good season. This is from Vern. Let me look at his stats. Let me see if I can pull up Clowney's stats right quick. Come on, stats. Don't hurt me now. Here we go. All right, so his 2015, he had 4.5 sacks. 2016, he had 6 sacks. 2017, he had 9.5. Last year, he had 9 sacks. Tackles for solo tackles last year, 38. Let me see how many games he played. His lowest amount of games he played was in 2015. He only played 9 games. Last year, he played in 14 games with those 9 sacks. Just put that in mind of our Dallas Cowboys. 9 sacks would be the second highest sack total leader for our Dallas Cowboys, because we know that D-Law had numerous of sacks last year. I think he had 11.5. So regardless of how we look at it, it still looks good for the Seattle Seahawks, because they got a guy that can at least give you anywhere between 7 to 9 sacks. You know, it's not like a big gaudy number like Frank Clark would be able to get. But what they're looking at is that now they have a veteran guy, somebody that team's going to have to still control on that side of the ball. So I think it's a good move for the Seattle Seahawks for the pickup Jadeveon Clowney. Let me know in the chat box if you guys feeling the same way. No tight end Lucas didn't make it. Yeah, he didn't make this roster at all. They cut him. Let me see if the Dallas Cowboys got any up-to-date news on that. Like I said, I really appreciate you all for tuning in to the nation. But who said Dak was getting a $100 million deal? This is from Tamara. Todd Calhoun says, I feel Zeke hold out. He is the best player on the team. To sit back and watch Dak get $100 million will be blanked off too. He said he'll be mad at the world too. My thing is, the whole situation, whereas when you're talking about money, if you want to play for the National Football League and you are in middle school and you want to make the most money, then you go out there and be a quarterback. Either you be a quarterback or a defensive edge rush. You can't be a running back and say, I want to have the most money for my said collective team. Because you got to understand that by the time that you get out there playing the ball and running the ball or what have you, there still will be a quarterback that's lesser than you that's going to get paid more than you. And you can't look at everybody's pockets, especially as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys or any team in general, because salary cap is designed for teams to have parity. And my thing is, you can't put all of your money and all your resources on a player that's not going to touch the ball 100% of the time. The quarterback is going to touch the ball at least 99% of the time unless it's a direct snap. So it's one of those things. Cut Alfred Morris is from Ori. Yeah, I mean, come on now. Cowboys cut a fullback. Let me see what they got over here. Sometimes the Cowboys webpage, it'd be a little late on the news. All right, new headline, Stephen Jones talked to Randy Gregory. My thing is with Randy Gregory, somebody said that he didn't put his paperwork in early enough, so that could be a situation why he's not reinstated. It's all about persistent and being consistent with your opportunities, you know. And it gets me upset about that Randy Gregory talk. Tom Jasper, really appreciate you. Really, really do. 9 sack is decent for Clowney. Talented, and Texans have a good defensive line. This is from Vern. Yeah, I agree. 9 sacks is good. 9 sacks for us would be great as well. The one and only DK2, he says, would LeSean McCoy be a good guy to fill in if Ezekiel Elliott holdout continues, basically? My thing is with LeSean McCoy, he's 31, and he averaged somebody said he's averaged 3.5 or 3.6 yards per carry. From what I saw, let me see if I can pull that up again. LeSean McCoy. Let me pull up McCoy's stats or what have you. Let me see if I can pull that up. And of course, behind this offensive line, it should be a little bit different. Hey, for veterans minimum, I'll pick him up. So he averaged 3.2 yards per carry. I think that Tony Pollard can give more than 3.2 yards per carry. I think that even Jordan Chon can give more than 3.2 yards per carry. Let me see, but he only played 514 yards last year. All right, let me go look at 2017. That's a better year. He averaged 4.1 yards per carry in 2017. He gave you 6 rushing touchdowns. Okay. With 1,138 yards. He had 448 yards receiving in 2017. I don't know if Father Time. Father Time is undefeated. I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel. Fisher and Blogging the Boys. Let me check out my guy, Mike Fisher, man. Let me check him out. Let me see what he got out there on the airwaves right now. I'm joining his Twitter page right now. Shady wasn't hurt, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he dropped off on that many yards from last year. That's just crazy for us to see. But my thing is, I mean, will teams respect him? Yeah, I think teams would still have to understand that he can catch the ball out of the backfield and these sorts of things. I don't think that he lose any of those wiggles right there. So, I mean, it'd probably be a good pickup for him, but I don't think that I would be willing to cut carries away from Tony Pollard, you see. And I just don't go that route, That's just my gumptions on that. Mike Fisher don't really have any news. I'm thinking that these people are squeezing out all of this news until like around 2 o'clock, 2 or 3. Right at 3, they'll be having all of this news hitting around of who's going to get players and these sorts of things. The Father Time. Yeah, say prime time. Yeah, we know that he went to the Seattle Seahawks. My bad. He says, Vern says, I believe Shady missed 5 or 6 games. According to Spoke Track, he played in 13 games. So it's a 16-game season, so he missed about 3 games, give or take, because they probably brought him back and he was just just on the bench, being substitutional. And my thing is, it's cold out there in Buffalo, and the LeSean McCoy style of running, those cuts and then those get backs and these sorts of things, it's kind of rough on him. It's kind of rough on him. But I would say if LeSean McCoy goes to a turf team, just maybe you can see some of those old LeSean McCoy type of highlights, you know. Law, Mike Weber or Jordan Chon? I love the physical tone and the physical nature of Jordan Chon. And then I love the fact that you can also put Jordan Chon as a special team guy. I would love to see more of a showcase of Mike Weber with the Wands or what have you, but I didn't get a chance and the opportunity to see that. So I just don't know. I'm just going to be real 100 with you. I just don't know. King Kong couldn't run behind that Buffalo line. Italy Joe saying that, hey, King Kong couldn't run behind that thing. Everyone tailgating from Cowboys FB. Yeah. I mean, we going to be tailgating, man. Come on out to the first game. Bushfire, Zeke will have to play after 8th game in order to accrue 1 year off his contract. I don't know. I think that Ezekiel Elliott, he will be missing what, a quarter of $1,000,000 per week. That's a lot of money. I don't know about you all. That's a lot of money. To be missing out on $250,000, that's a lot of cash. I think that Ezekiel Elliott will sign. Well, when I sign, will come back to play around week 2, week 3. I think that Tony Pollard. Now, although the Giants, I'm not going to sleep on the Giants front four. They went and got some reinforcement. Shout out to the other D-Law that they went and picked up. They went and got up a guy that they put into the inside. They went and got some meat, some burly guys to put into the inside. So week 1, the Giants defense, they should look a little bit better as it relates to their interior pressure. My thing is their linebackers are still kind of suspect a little bit. The DBs, we'll see. And my thing is you should be able to still move the ball down the field on them. Now, running up the middle, that's going to be something that we're going to look at and be like, it's first game. Everybody should be healthy. So the Giants should be nobody to sneeze at. But I will say this, that overall collectively, shout out to you, John, that's on my Facebook panel. Good morning to you. Overall collectively, we should be able to beat out the Giants, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Mike Irvin said they're getting close to a deal. Well, how close they were when I made the statement that he turned down the other offer, you know. I mean, every offer that they submitted to Ezekiel Elliott, so far they turned it down. So it's just like that, you know. What is a bad deal? What is a good deal? It will be a deal that's signed. You know, Jalen Smith could have said, you know what, I don't like this money. I think that I deserve at least $4 to $5 million more on my guaranteed side of the ball. And Jalen Smith could have turned that deal down. But no, Jalen Smith looked at the opportunity and said, you know what, I'm going to sign this deal. I got a pair of glasses, clear-eye view, that I'm going to also put inside of all of the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop. And then on top of that, I got me an angel investor for my cryotherapy clinic who, by the last name, is Jones. So I'm securing my future. I'm making sure that not only I'm making resources and money and opportunity while I'm on the field, I'm also making money and resources off the field. Because right now, there's somebody right now buying clear eye view glasses, right? That's securing your future. That's making money while you're in your sleep. Somebody right now, later on tonight, is going to go to Clear Eye View website and purchase a pair of glasses. Somebody right now going to snap up their knee or their shoulder, and they're going to need cryotherapy, however you say that, treatment. So that's securing your future. Do other players or should other players figure out how they can secure their future down the line? Yes. I think that was a brilliant move. And then on top of that, you playing for one of the most marketable teams of all time. Look, Ezekiel Elliott campaign should have been like this. He got the Feed Me. He should have made it an official logo of Feed Me logo. I can be like right now. I took marketing. I could be the marketing agent for Ezekiel Elliott. You know, whenever he does the Feed Me action looking sign, there should be a t-shirt just like the Jordan Jumpman of a Feed Me logo on all type of shirts and apparel, on type of shoes and stuff like that. 21 should be an exclusive branded right now for the Dallas Cowboys. He should be making money in his sleep. Not saying that he's not, because I can't count his paper, because I do know that he came out with some Ezekiel Elliott shirts or what have you. But Ezekiel Elliott should have been securing that and saying, hey, I need that shirt to be in the pro shops right now. I need the Ezekiel Elliott brand with my mini chopped off afro curl with the beard and sun visor. I need that to be marketed and branded as well. And then on top of that, whenever you guys play at the hometown or home game, I need Ezekiel Elliott apparel to be on most of the players. And on top of that, the money that I'm going to get, I think that money that Jerry Jones is going to pay Ezekiel Elliott with, and you couple in the endorsement aspect from the individual aspect of what Ezekiel Elliott does. And then he can leverage it with Ohio State and also the Dallas Cowboys. It's far more valuable than anything that the LA Rams can generate for anything for Todd Gurley. I think that by playing with the star, the silver and blue, that money can be far superior than any other money that he can get from the Seattle Seahawks, from the Buffalo Bills. If you think I'm lying, ask Cole Beasley how that Buffalo sauce is going up there for him. So I think that players need to stop leaning on the NFLPA. I think that players need to stop leaning on the NFL in general for the only source of income. I think that players need to leverage their their brand. And I think that with Ezekiel Elliott, he could have got in front of the case by leveraging his shortfall is with the domestic violence case, with the situation where as it relates to Roger Goodell's putting his toe in the water. He could have leveraged all of that via social media. Social media pays. I think Ezekiel Elliott would be outstanding if he had a YouTube page and he can show young youth how to run certain routes or how to run through certain situations as it relates to 8-man front or 9 in the box, or just lifestyle of growing up from Missouri, refusing to go to Missouri and going to Ohio State. I think that would be a wonderful platform for Ezekiel Elliott to leverage that with also the NFL. But, it is what it is. All right, let me see who else we have here. Tamara. I've never really watched Law Nation until this morning. The best I've seen. Yeah, I'm sold. We'll be tuning in from now on. Appreciate you, Tamara. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I will murder some people's name. Sharita, appreciate you for tuning in to the nation as well. That's a great idea. Yes, it's all about leverage. That's what life is about. It's leveraging your opportunities. And I think that it's better to have an opportunity. Look, this is my saying. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Jalen Smith looked at the opportunity and said, hey, I'm going to take hold to it. Because doctors and people of football analysts said that I would never be able to play football ever again. But I had a clear-eyed view, you see. So that's just how I look at it. Zeke should brand himself. Yes, Vern. Yes, I agree. That's what I'm saying. He should not rely, because let's look at the total picture of everything, right? Let's look at the grand scheme of everything. The total argument is this right here. Todd Gurley is getting $45 million guaranteed. The next person that's close to Todd Gurley is getting like 34, 35, give or take. I think that's Le'Veon Bell, or it's the Johnson kid that played for the Arizona Cardinals. It's $31 million or what have you. So what Ezekiel Elliott ultimately and trust me, the Rams paid Todd Gurley 2 years before his contract was up too. But the thing is, $45 million. They don't have, I don't think the LA Rams have a Tyron Smith. I don't think the LA Rams have a Travis Frederick. I don't think that they have an Amari Cooper that they got to pay. You see, they don't have the same amount of people that they have to pay opposed to us. Now, we can see that they was able to get to the playoffs and Super Bowl because they got a fantastic coach and a great system. But what I'm looking at is it's not a one-size-fit-all type of situation. So what I'm saying is that if Ezekiel leveraged Ohio State, who's got a crazy fan base. Plus the Dallas Cowboys, who got a world fan base. I got people that watch this show from the Guam. I got people that watch this show all the way from the UK and Mexico, and Canada. Yeah, all the way far across the world. We watching the Dallas Cowboys. They tune in because it's the Dallas Cowboys. You can leverage that. I think that there's some people that in the UK and Canada that will buy some Ezekiel Elliott apparel that will trump $5 and $6 million that added on to the quote unquote base salary that he's getting from the Cowboys. That's just my thoughts, man. This is Cowboy Nation. Law, the best example. Let me scroll up. Law, the best example for Money Smart. Mr. Lynch, just with the endorsements made it. Just with the endorsement made it. David Johnson, yes, appreciate it. Rodney Elliott, Zeke is better than Gurley by numbers. Yeah, I mean, come on. I think that Ezekiel Elliott is one of the better running backs in the NFL. Rams O-line is old. Yes, I agree. The Cowboys have way more quality players, positions-wise, than any other team in the NFL. Yes. My thing is this as well. We've been hurt by drafting well. I came up with this right here. The Cowboys should do this. They should write a proposal to the NFL and say that players that we draft, we should be able to get some type of discount as it relates to salary cap. Meaning that, let's say, for example, LVE just lighting it up. Byron Jones lighting it up. Instead of whatever his contract is, when we re-signed him, 40 or 50% shouldn't go against the cap because that was a homegrown player. Now, if they decide to say, well, we want more money on the outside of the market, then that team, when they have to reach out for that player that we drafted, should pay. I can't speak this morning. Let me get some more coffee. Should pay whatever the salary cap. It should go against whatever the salary cap is. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. Ross Ball says, can't wait for the season. Yes, 2-4. I can't wait either, man. I can't wait either. Yes, I can't wait either, man. Miss Scouting Pro. Yes. How you doing, lady? Good morning to you. I always love to see you out here. I want to know your thoughts, Miss Scouting Pro, on Davion Clowney. I also want to know your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys collectively. Who should they cut and who should they keep, and these sorts of things. Just post that down in the chat box whenever you get a chance. He's getting great advice from his mentor, Marshall Faulk. Let's just hope that TMZ Zeke does not end up for baby mama's 6 kids like Faulk. Wow. Man, that hitting him right under the chin. So I didn't know Marshall Faulk got 4 baby mamas and 6 kids. Wow. Well, players back in the days, they do some nefarious things. But, my thing is, and I'm glad you mentioned Marshall Faulk. I said the other day that Ezekiel Elliott shouldn't listen to people without rings, without Super Bowl rings. Because Joe Thomas said that, hey, back in my day, the top players get paid 15 to 20% more than the average top player or whatever that's in their collective positionings. Well, back in your day, Joe Thomas, you never understood how to get to the Super Bowl because you played for the Cleveland Browns and you probably took top money, right? So they couldn't put pieces around you. That's a story of a different day. But also back in your days, it was unheard of players holding out 2 years before their contract is due. So it's a conundrum in a sense. And then all of a sudden, Marshall Faulk started talking to Ezekiel Elliott, Eric Dickerson, who's been known for those who follow Eric Dickerson, who knew Eric Dickerson. He would hold out for an extra pack of gum, you know what I mean? And let me know how many Super Bowl rings Eric Dickerson had, But this is the thing. Marshall Faulk, he may be a great guy as it relates to training, as it relates to temperament of the game, teaching Ezekiel Elliott the ins and outs of running. But as far as from a analytical advice, come on, Marshall. And a lot of people say, well, I saw a few comments saying that, hey, Law, you don't think that Jerry Jones have his Ezekiel Elliott best interests in heart, right? Marshall Faulk been with Ezekiel Elliott when he was in middle school, high school, also college and beyond. Marshall Faulk got the most intellect to give Ezekiel Elliott good advice. But what I'm saying is that Just because your uncle can give you good advice doesn't mean you have to take it, because you can look at his story, look at what he's been doing as it relates to integrity, as it relates to a whole plethora of things. Then you have to make the advice for yourself. My thing is, look, football is a fickle process regardless of how we look at it, Cowboy Nation and people beyond. Football, you can walk out there and your life could be over with just like that, regardless of what position you are playing. If you think I'm lying, ask Ryan Shazier, it can go just like that. It's not guaranteed. If you got kids out there, you want them to make some paper outside of football, tell them to play basketball. At least they probably have a better chance and opportunity, or baseball or soccer, of all places. Tell them to play those sports. But football is a brutal sport. It's made for collision. And on top of that, we do know that it's just what it is. We do know that. My thing is with Ezekiel Elliott, and I hate to bring this up, continuously bringing up Ezekiel Elliott, but I have to say this. Be careful. Just be careful, because the thing is now, Jerry Jones is mad. Jerry Jones, the guy that I don't think that Marshall Faulk would have said, you know what, you wrecked a car, you got a $20 million lawsuit, let me try to cover some things up. I don't think that Marshall Faulk would pick up that phone. Where were Marshall Faulk at when the situation became about the lady with the false domestic violence? Where were he? And then also, where were the NFLPA? See, they pick and choose when they want to represent you. Where were the NFLPA when the NFL suspended Ezekiel Elliott for 6 games? No, but he had Jerry Jones there. Jerry Jones putting his whole dynasty or his whole earnings and everything on the line to represent you. To say that, hey, Roger Goodell, I don't think that you deserve to get extra money. You shouldn't get a pay raise. You're not running this operation right, Oh, no. And then on top of that, Kia Roberts, the investigator for the Ezekiel Elliott scandal affairs, allegedly, said, I don't see no fault in Ezekiel Elliott. For my expertise, I have a law degree in these sorts of things. Did you ever hear Roger Goodell said, you know what? I look at this thing totally as you're 100% right. No, Roger Goodell said, I thank you for that information. Get out of my office. Matter of fact, you are released from this investigation. Pretty much, you're fired. I can't lie to kick it to you all. Where were the NFLPA? Where were they? Where were Marshall Faulk? Where were Eric Dickerson? I can recall that Eric Dickerson probably was on one of those first take shows saying that Ezekiel Elliott need to get his head on straight. Y'all don't like facts, but that's the truth. My thing is, with Ezekiel Elliott and Jerry Jones situation, what they need to do is just fly Ezekiel Elliott in or drive him in, pick him up in the helicopter, find a small room, pull out a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue, relax, and just talk about life. Just talk about life. Don't even talk about football, so they can get on the same page, because all of the back and forth between one of the star players of the Dallas Cowboys and their owner, that needs to cease and desist. I don't believe when Jerry Jones say that Pollard can carry, let me see, because this is my guy, Joe. Italy Joe says, I don't believe that Jerry Jones says that Pollard can carry the load. Jerry said the same thing last year when we didn't have a number 1 wide receiver. Jerry is a liar. I'm glad that you mentioned that, Joe. I'm glad you mentioned that. But here's the thing. A salesman, we approaching my hour, and I'm trying to do the show for an hour. A salesman job and opportunity to do is to sell you things. Jerry Jones, to me, in my opinion, is the ultimate salesman. Jerry Jones loved to sell. And just like when we say that if this guy can sell you the moon is made of cheese, and if you fool around and you fly all the way up to the moon and you realize it's just a big rock, the joke is on you, right? So my thing is collectively, but also Jerry Jones, if you look at all of his conversational piece, he's personal. See, so there's the GM Jerry, and that's that personal Jerry. And I think you get the personal Jerry with the little Johnny Walker Blue, and he tells the truth. Jerry don't know how to tell lies. And that's what I wish Jerry Jones did more, right? But Jerry Jones tell it like it is, basically. Now, the receivers by committee, look, We rolled out there with Cole Beasley. We had an Allen Hurns, and a shout out to Allen Hurns, undrafted guy. Deontay, I can't even think of his last name at the point. But not only did we have receivers by committee, we didn't have anybody. We had a rookie, Michael Gallup. And then on top of that, we had wide receivers just trying to learn how to drive around in Dallas. These guys haven't been in Dallas for a long periods of time. And then if you add in the fact that the tight end situation, that was also done by a tight end by committee. None of those guys knew that Blake Jarwin would emerge to what he was during the latter part of his games last year. But outside of that, they had tight end and receivers by committee. And you expecting Dak Prescott going into his third year to make the move, push the ball down the field? I wonder how Matt Ryan, I wonder how he would have looked with that wide receiver core. I wonder how Matthew Stafford would have looked with that wide receiver core. So we got to look at the thing totally. Now, this is a whole lot different than last year. I don't think that it's comparable by the receivers that we had last year opposed to that we have now. I don't think that the whole committee situation is similar as it relates to the running back, because none of those guys is relates to like what Tony Pollard is able to do or on that same keel, you see. Or the offensive line was not intact. Remember, not only that you had the receiver by committee, you had Joe Looney out there. Travis Frederick was gone. Yeah, Deontay Thompson, appreciate you, man. I don't know where team he's on now, but hopefully he have a great year, you know. Yeah, Cowboys fan 421. Yeah, LeSean McCoy is released. That's why this is so important. This is an important day. This, like around 3 or 4 o'clock, this day will be just like the draft all over again. The draft for veterans, you know. Conscious says that James Harden knows football. I get that James Harden deal all the time, man. Shout out to James Harden. Remember, I'm about 7 years older than James Harden, so James Harden looks like me. According to ESPN, yes, Brandon Williams, yes. We can't wait till all of the notable releases are going to be around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and I can't wait to see what players that we can probably take a look at, and we can take some look at it on some film. Yeah, you guys are late with the news. We already talked about it for an hour, but I really appreciate y'all love and adulation for posting that information down. Belly, name a white running back that's on Zeke level. I'll wait to confirm. Not many white running backs, but I like that kid that played for the Carolina Panthers. Boy, it's nice. I think he wear number 22. I think the number kind of throws me off because that's a wonderful number. Yes, indeed. All right. Hey, Law, breaking news. Dallas Cowboys purge defense is coming. Yes! I can't wait for that defense to show the world that we've been talking all of this Ezekiel Elliott talk and got me talking all this Ezekiel Elliott talk and failed to realize and mentioning that defensive side of the ball, man. It's just going to be nice, man. Yes. All right, Cowboy Nation. We're approaching the final minutes of the time. Hey, I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Don't forget to check out Cowboys Experience. They got a Facebook page. Check it out, man. I'm telling you, we will have a fantastic year this year. We got multiple players that's already confirmed they're going to be at the event. We're going to be live. You get a chance to shake hands with the greats like the Drew Pearsons of the world. Man, my goodness. The Lincoln Colemans, man. Also, did I mention that we will have Michael Gallup out there this year? Cheeto Awuzie. We're going to try to get Donovan Wilson and those boys, you know, those rookies out there. Maybe we get Tony Pollard. Make them taste some of that Dallas Cowboys barbecue, you know, since he talking about Memphis got the best barbecues out there. You know, we'll see. And then on top of that, if you add this into the mental capacity of everybody, we got the dominant offensive line that be out there. It's going to be nice. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, that guy cold. Yeah, he cold-blooded. We won't have him out there, but, you know, he cold-blooded. Say What You Like podcast. Really appreciate you all, too. Maybe Jared needs to take Zeke out to the yacht. Yes. Give him a freak on. Yeah, take him out there to the yacht. Yeah, the NFLPA, they stick their nose in so much stuff. They said that it's not good for the players to be conversating and communicating with the owners. But I will say this, and I'm gonna use this again for the ladies. Would you prefer a man to propose to you via phone, or you prefer that man to meet you face to face and say, you know what? I'm gonna get on my knee and say, will you marry me? You know what I mean? You got to be interactive in person. I think that it creates more value. Now, if the agent want to be around and monitor some things, yeah, that's why I'm with the belief, and it's just my thoughts. Marlon World, the man, Cali, F.A.